I know
like
what your
5.
relationship with your siblings are like, Junie, okay?
Okay.
Don't you have like 5 or something, Junie?
I have three brothers. Hopefully I didn't panic or freak too many people out a little earlier when I kept turning the stream on and off as I was testing the audio to make sure the recording was working. I was like, oh, stream's live. I was like, and off. And I was like, check it. And I'm like, oh, it didn't work. Didn't work. Stream's live and off. Okay, it worked. All right. And then it was like a little bit later, Koval showed up. And I was like, all right, I'm going to just throw it up again while he's here to make sure that our dialogue's all working correctly with two different people talking at the same time. It's like, all right, good. It's perfect. Good. So it was like 3 instances where I basically turned the stream on and then shut it off again.
I think you should be good, because I think Freya is the one who was curious this evening if we were still doing it.
Right.
Hello.
Well, hello.
Howdy. Give him a minute to compose himself here.
Hollyhock with 122 health.
Don't be telling my secrets, yo.
It's right there on the screen.
Shut up, Junie.
She's a barbarian. If she didn't
Oh, yeah.
have more than double your health, I would be worried.
I'm worried about Ozzy. He doesn't have all the way double my health. I'm scared.
Yeah, but Azzy also like has a lot more tricks up his sleeve than I do.
Like a shield and armor.
Yeah,
If
I
he's
just
got
grab
that,
my hammer and go. Brrr.
if he's got that up his sleeve, I'm a little concerned.
The shield is very small. He just puts that up his sleeve and it's fine.
Hello.
Yo.
Sorry.
No,
You're fine.
No worries.
Logging in now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time, get settled. It's not a big to do.
Everyone's just happy to see you.
Oof.
I would say it's like Monday Night Lights, like, you know, some weird high school football thing, but at the same time, it's not Friday and we're not in high school. So, yeah.
Please don't send me back. For the love of God, please don't send me back.
I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily mind it, I don't think, redoing high school. It wasn't that
Do not
terrible.
send me back. It was a bum-ass redneck town. I do not want to go back.
Okay, all right. I understand if that was your experience. I get it.
Got more sleep in high school. There's that.
That's because you didn't have to worry about bills and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I had the capability of staying up until like 4 a.m. and getting up at 7 a.m. and being perfectly fine.
Awesome.
I hear you. That was like every day because I would be like, hey, I'm not going to do my homework and then just do shit after school for a while and then stay up doing other things instead of doing my homework. And then in the minute it was time to go to bed,
Oh, shit.
all right, let's do some homework. And it's like, oh, wow, it's 3 a.m.? All right. Well, I got to do this one
Sweet.
last thing before tomorrow morning, and then
I still never did the homework. Still did that.
I
Never did the homework.
selectively did the things that I needed to do. There were some classes where I definitely didn't.
I was the nerd even in this group. Fuck me.
I mean, I
homework.
was still kind of a nerd. I took 4 years of Latin in high school, so
Oh, Jesus
Like-
Christ.
Yeah, I was from too small a town to have Latin. We had Spanish and French.
Yep.
yeah, that was basically all that we had. It was French, Spanish, and then there was Latin because the lady that taught it had basically been there for like 25 years prior and had battled against like the district and the superintendent and all this stuff to like keep it. And she topped out at like having a class of like 20 at the very introductory year, and like the fourth years, like when she would have it, would be groups of students of like 3 to 8, and like that was it. So like a class was sometimes like 3 people sitting in a room with her, and it's just like
That's how our fourth
That's
year
a little
language
weird.
programs ended up.
Yeah. I mean, she basically like effectively made it work by shelling out some of her own money to pay for materials for the course to be able to keep it going. So it was like she was pretty dedicated. She was very dedicated.
It reminds me of a couple of the AP courses we had where we had AP Algebra 2, and it was literally like a class of 7 in a school that already had a small population. I think my graduating class was like under 100. And there was that. And then the other AP class that I probably should have taken, the teacher taught the normal iteration of it too. And I think one day after we had handed in reports and we had discussion on the book and stuff, she looked around at the entire classroom and she said, "There's a lot of you who should be in AP English for this course, but y'all being lazy." And she just stared at us for like 3 minutes. And a couple of my classmates were like, "Oh, crap." And I'm talking with my friends a little bit, and I just slink back in the corner. I'm like, yeah, it's probably me.
When I went to my first English class in high school as a freshman, I got sent to the counselor within an hour because my teacher noticed that I was like always the first one to finish whatever he had given us, and like everything was correct, and I was very grammatically correct all the time. And he like looked at my stuff and he was like, "Hey, come here." Mind you, this is the first day of school, and he was like, "I need you to go take this to your counselor." And I was like, "Fuck, what the fuck did I do? I haven't even been here like a whole day yet." And I went up there and she was like, "Oh, he wants to put you in a different class." And I was like, "Did I do something wrong?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "You belong in AP English, so you're going to an AP English class." And I was like, "Fuck."
Damn, it's going to be harder than I thought.
Yeah, that was kind of the reaction I had when my English teacher did that in my senior year of high school, where she's like, "Some of y'all need to be in AP English." And when I screwed back and I'm thinking in my head, one of those is probably me. I should probably not be in the normal English class, but I am going to continue to hide here.
It was kind of like me in my, I think it was my sophomore or junior year. I took an information technology class. You learn like basic level coding and hardware shit and all that stuff. And I think I slept through like 95% of that class
And you still
and
pulled it out.
still walked out with an
Flawless.
A. And I'm like,
Okay.
dudes. So much testing. Never did homework, and it's always testing. Anyways, D&D night.
Yep. I believe everyone is situated now, so let's go ahead and recap, and then we'll get underway.
Bob, are you situated?
Yeah, I think so. He typed he was he said extremely sorry about being late, but I should be good now. So I've taken
Okay.
that as
You're fine, Knight.
I'm okay. Thank you.
okay. So last we met on the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, we had arrived at the not so very strange town of Leyland, which we've been around the block a few times with before. The journey was not all that eventful, but at the same time, you did have some, I'll use air quotes, fun with a particular merchant that was being a dick. You did show up. He's kind of reunited with some of the random peoples around town. There was some spell copying. There was some tomfoolery. There was the purchasing of many delectable peculiarities. Currently in the possession of one tabaxi that is attempting to fit a masterful harness on a horse to carry it all. Yeah, and then you guys basically kind of checked in to see what was going on and what you could help out with, and found that there were a couple of issues needing some attention from the message board, the billboard at the center of town. From that, you discovered some information about a odd dreadnought ship that is kind of beached to the north in an area where there used to be a lighthouse that is now called the Tower of Storms. And as well to the north, although not so far as the Tower of Storms, another area called the Leyland Point, where there is a farming community seeking some aid against some odd ratings and happenings that they would require. Maybe a little bit of muscle, maybe a little bit of investigation. So everyone had effectively bed down for the evening at the Umber Hulk's Shell Inn. There was much drinking and shantying and drinking and shantying. And, yeah, now it is the following morning where everyone is maybe a little gristly from the consumption of the night prior. But at the same time, spry and ready to go, as they always are.
Spry? I have arthritis. The fuck you talking about? Spry? Get out of here with that shit.
You can join me for stretching then, yay!
Nope.
Freya is asking you to turn up your output a little bit,
Yep.
Jimmy.
Yeah, here's what I'll do.
Talia, I'm gonna need you to roll a 1d4 for arthritis damage to your knees.
Okay.
Give us a check.
Also gonna need to roll a d10 to see if you also have arthritis of the back and knuckles.
Yeah, and Freya, let me know if this is any better. I basically lowered their volume slightly so that mine would be a little higher, so that potentially it might match. But I'm kind of leery of increasing the volume boost on my microphone because I don't want it to get all like crackly and bad.
Talia, I'm also gonna need you to roll a d100 to see if your arthritis spreads.
Oof.
I'm gonna go with fuck that. I'm quite good with just having springed my back a little bit, getting out of bed and getting into my armor.
All these silly humans.
We're spreading arthritis now. This is dangerous. All right, so yes, so you guys find yourself at the inn. It is the next morning. Everyone is not as rough as they've ever been in their life, but also not clearly waking up like they had the best night's sleep of their life. And you make your way downstairs to maybe grab a little bite before you head out. And yeah, so that's where you guys can pick it up.
John,
Mm-hmm.
what's my letter say?
Oh, yes, that's right. I added it as a note in game that I assigned, so you should have visibility to it in your players'
Okay.
handouts. And if you don't for some reason, let me know.
Wow, DM is slacking.
No, he's not. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. I just didn't know where it was.
Right.
Technically, he said he was going to give it to you last time. He said he was going to give it to you last week.
I,
And he
Maybe
didn't.
he
and I
did.
did. I did give it
And he
to.
got
I
it to
created
him
it
over
that
the
night. I created the note in game that night after session ended.
I,
So it didn't happen.
Really kid.
I was under the impression that it was going to be via Discord, so.
Oh yeah, no. I basically was like, yeah, I'll either message it to you or I'll just add it in game or something. But neither here nor there. You have a letter.
Okay. So, as we get ready to head out and we're eating, is there anyone else in the tavern, or is it just us for right now?
At this point in the morning, the rest of the inhabitants of the inn are pretty much gone. A lot of them are just like locals or kind of like contracted workers that have kind of come into town to help out. So the minute the sun comes up, they basically get the whip crack to get to work. Otherwise, they'll be kicked out for not pulling their weight for the contract they signed on for, kind of thing. So.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of the stuff in the area from this particular inn is people at work, the fisheries and the barges and things like that. So doing a lot of transport and kind of going out on the water and fishing. So they're usually early risers anyways to get the morning haul, let's call it. The same gruff bartender's there, though, from the night before.
Gotcha.
Does he have any bacon?
Yes, he does, in fact, have bacon. I know how much you guys love pocket bacon, so I could never say no.
I mean, it saved our lives, so I'm not going to argue against it. Actually, no, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Because that never happened.
It did it in an alternate universe, okay?
And
Technically,
Save
this is the same universe, just a different timeline.
It saved lives. It just didn't save your lives.
Not my life. What does it matter then?
As he asks him if he has any bread, dried fruits, and meats for the travel that he could buy off of him.
Yes, I definitely have some loaves of bread I can give you. I can purchase those. I have some meats as well. The fruit might be hard to come by, though.
Cheese?
I have cheese.
How much for maybe, I don't know, 4 servings of bread, cheese, and meat?
For how many days? 1 day's worth?
4 days worth.
4 days worth. I'll call it 5 silver a head.
5 silver a head, so what's that? That's 25 silver.
That's correct.
How many silver into a gold?
10?
And
All right.
It's a big
Well, all
temple.
I have is gold, so here's 5 gold. Can we call that even?
That's a fine deal to me.
Great.
I could have told Silver.
He throws in a little extra for you too. Gives you a skin of wine to go with it.
Thank you for that. Do you have any seasonings? Salt, primarily.
We do have salt, yes.
How much for that?
Let's call it, considering you've only got gold, let's call it a gold.
1 gold.
Some expensive ass salt, yo.
he just gives you a bucket of salt.
Well, I mean,
Artisanal salt.
if that's all you're slinging, I mean, he's gonna take gold. He's just gonna
No, I
charge
know.
it characteristically. So
As he will also put down 20 gold and say, I want you to remember my face, and I want you to stock your finest mead available as soon as you can, because next time I come here, it's going to be a party.
he kind of gives you a furrowed brow look, but eyes you up and down to make sure he remembers you.
I slap the gold on the table, and then I leave.
Okay, very well.
As he is heading out, I get up to follow, but I do ask the barkeep, Can you tell us anything about the farms up north at all?
Oh, yes. There's a small community, maybe a dozen or so individuals working some fields with their families. They don't necessarily bring in a lot per se, but it's the closest thing we have to fresh produce and farm animals in the vicinity that we don't have to have hauled in from a long distance.
So mostly the stock for vegetables and fruit and the like, I take it. Hence why
Yes.
not so much.
Correct.
I'm sure you've heard rumors or grumblings that something has been raiding their stock. Have you heard any, maybe by chance, whispers as to what it might be?
I have not. We definitely had heard that there was some trouble going on up there and potential loss of crops, but we weren't too sure, and nobody was really in the capacity or the bravery to want to go investigate for themselves.
I nod, pay for my food, and head outside with Azzy as well to get things ready.
All right, very well.
Yep, I follow Nagris.
Yep.
Argo,
At
I
this point, I'm
assume.
just eager to get to deal with this whole potential dreadnought thing. This
Mhm.
reeks of nastiness involving magic. So
Fair
Argo
enough.
ate a light breakfast and put down a gold before heading outside to do some stretching.
Very well. Okay. Duly noted. This particular innkeeper enjoys all of your company and presence because you pay like tenfold compared to what you probably should be paying for everything, and he's loving life. So
sponsor local businesses.
all right. So everyone kind of goes outside and begins to prep. Their animals are stabled a little ways to the north, but you're able to at least get back to your pack animals, get them turned out, and get the cart ready. I assume we're going to take the cart, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna put all of my junk on the cart.
Okay, so let's just note you called it junk. So we could not do that in the future. That would be great. Thanks.
Those are very high quality pieces.
It's
I'm
worth
going to
noting
put
that
all of my very significant artifacts in the back of our wagon.
Perfect.
What's up, Knight?
as he didn't go to the carts, he went to the markets or where he thought he would be able to find more tent and camping material
Okay.
to better prepare because
Probably
we were
the
missing that last time.
Yes.
Well, yes, you were missing it in this timeline. The
I will
area,
head
the
to the cart to get
area,
ready.
yeah, that's cool. The area you'll want to go is Torver's Post, which is the general store, slightly to the
Yep,
east.
that's where I'm headed.
Okay, wonderful. So as you guys are turning out the cart and packing it and getting everything ready, animals are well rested and appear to have been well tended. The town appears to keep after their travelers quite well, probably because at the moment it is basically the lifeblood of what's keeping this little town going.
I also have one other thing to do in the city after Azzy's done there.
Very well. So, Azzy saunters up to Torver's Post, the shop proprieted by one John Torver, the fourth addition to the Council of Leyland.
I take it I already know who he is since I've probably dealt with him before. I honestly don't remember.
Nope, he is brand new.
Yeah, he came in after we had dealt with the cult, from what Griselda said.
This is
Yep.
correct.
Great. I kind of wave at him. and inquire towards my goal of tents and whatnot. Specifically, maybe about 20 feet of canvas that is probably about 10 feet wide.
Well, I fortunately have just quite the canvas you'll be looking for.
Was it waterproof?
It is indeed. He goes and pulls a long bolt of material from a little side cabin shacky thing off the side of his building and brings it inside. So you see here, normally we use this for sails, but this will probably work quite well, I think, for canvas to use for tents. I'll let you inspect it.
Is it adequate quality? It'll hold up for foul weather, specifically storm type weather.
Yep. Give me a roll here. Let me have you give me a insight check. So
15.
So yes, from your inspection of this particular canvas, you can tell that it is in fact waterproof, so it will do what it's supposed to do, and that it is thick and well made to the point that it would not leak and will actually do a decent job of retaining heat and keeping you safe from the exterior elements.
Excellent. I also need about 4, actually we'll call it 6 hitching posts. Not hitching posts, but standing posts to lash this canvas to, should I need to.
All right, easy enough, easy enough. He grabs a few poles and various cordage from kind of a stall behind him, behind the counter.
What's all this going to cost me?
Let's see here. He looks at the canvas. He looks at the poles. He looks at the cordage. I'd say all in all, let's call this 70 gold.
Done.
Very well.
I take it the standing poles are in the same condition.
Yes. Yes, with the novelty of this particular shop, it seems that most things that are here are in fact new and in good condition and are not like second or third hand like trash poles and crap canvas.
Excellent. I need horse feed as well. I believe we are all running low, if I'm counting the days right.
Yes, very well. He kind of motions to his assistant to grab some feed bags from out back.
Is the standard week still 7 days in this universe?
It's 10.
10 days?
Mm-hmm.
Great. I need enough for 1 week.
Okay. He does a quick math in his head. He said, well, let's see. With the canvas and materials and the feed, let's call it an even 100 gold.
Jesus. All right, 100 gold, you fucking thief. Let's go.
Oh, no. Thief. Clearly, you can't recognize quality when you see it.
It's grain. It would be different if I was eating it, but you better hope that my horse loves the shit out of it. Thank you for your kindness, though.
Well, very well. Good day to you.
Master negotiator.
Hope they don't choke on it.
What was that?
Oh, nothing. Good day.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Good day.
Keep your fucking mouth shut, huh? Fucking Christ.
Off to a good start. Woo.
As he looks at now all of his shit, debates on carrying it, or going to fucking back and making them carry it to the cart. And then he's like, oh, fuck these guys. And he rigs it so that it's like one he rigs the poles in the canvas and then puts everything in the canvas and carries it over his shoulders.
So you just huff it down the streets.
Yep.
Looks like he has a giant hobo sack.
Yeah, I don't even need to do a check on that. I'm pretty sure you can huff that material without any problem.
I mean, the 15 strength, I hope so, but
Mhm.
you never know.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly your constitution because you start huffing all that grain, like you're gonna pass out, man.
Oh yeah, you know.
I think
Right,
there's a
so-
thing or two about huffing.
So you slowly make your way down the streets back to the stables, and Hollyhock, what is it that you would like to do?
I'm gonna turn to the group and say, my friends, I know that you've been here before, and I need your advice. Are there any powerful wizards that you could point me in the direction of me procuring their services?
I
Yes.
know one very cranky wizard, but his services are generally not for sale.
I mean, you could try and talk with Galio, but he is nose deep in any study when we bug him.
He also has minions. They might help.
Minions
he-
would also work.
As he dumps the shit into the cart, he walks up and pulls out Thalavar's journal and gives it to her and says, "Give him that and tell him it's Thalavar's and he'll love you. Give you probably whatever you want."
I can show you how to get there.
Well, I don't need to go that far, but okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he probably already had the journal, but
Who, Thalavar's journal? No, I
Yeah.
kept that.
wasn't that the codex that he was trying to decipher the puzzles from when you gave to him in the first place in the first module?
I don't believe so.
I think Addy said he would try and help decode some of them and never gave it back.
Well, no, I gave him books from the library on the second level. I didn't give him the journal
Mhm.
because we
That's what I mean.
we didn't find the journal until
Yep.
later.
Yep. You are right.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
kept
you can
the
do that.
journal.
Then yes, I would like to go to Thalavar's.
I'll lead Hollyhock to Thalabar.
I mean,
His
Grant,
tower.
that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
So hi ho,
Mm-hmm.
off to
Well,
the
where do we
tower
go?
you go.
I was gonna say, I literally point to where Galio's tower is.
You can fucking see it.
You can't
Yeah,
miss it.
it's like, you see that big tower over there, Holly?
Yes.
That's where that's the House of Thalavar. That's where you'll find Galio. More than likely on the first floor, stuck nose deep in a book.
And off she goes.
Imagine that, wizards like in towers.
Oh,
A
you
bit-
know,
Fleshy.
they gotta be able to survey their surroundings whenever they do take their head out.
All right, so you saunter on up to the house of Thalvar, making your way into the first floor, and much to the predisposed notions that were placed upon you, Galio is in fact in his office, studying, hunched over a desk in front of him, not really paying attention.
I knock on the door. Knock on the door frame.
Yes?
You are a wizard, no?
Yes, I am. What can I do for you?
Well, I was instructed to give this to you, and she kind of holds out the journal. I am looking to procure a enchantment service, and my friends who have previously been in the city have told me to come to you because you are the most powerful wizard in the city, and you could perhaps help me.
He kind of spins around and takes a look at the book in your hands. Enchantments, eh? And, ooh, where did they get this? He starts to look over the journal.
That is a very good question. I do not know where they got it, but they gave it to me to give to you.
Well, this is quite a peculiarity. As he flips through and kind of recognizes the penmanship, he's beginning to piece together that this somehow must have been penned by none other than Thalvar himself.
They said it would be of great interest to you.
Well, they were very, very right about that. So what is this enchantment you're looking for?
Well, you see. And she pulls out the bedazzled climber's pack and she puts it on his desk. I am a collector of objects. I love stories. I love items that have stories, but I have very little storage room and we move around a lot. So I was wondering if maybe perhaps the strongest wizard in the city could maybe make this bag hold a lot of things.
He kind of looks at it and begins to casually stroke at his beard. Could potentially make something happen here.
I would be glad to leave the journal in your possession and give it to you if maybe perhaps we could strike some sort of deal.
Perhaps. Let's see. He's kind of talking to himself and kind of thinking and counting. Yes, okay. Yes, I believe I can make this happen. How much time do you have?
Well, I could leave the bag here and come back and after we've done a couple of things that we have to do outside of the city. But, the faster you get this done, the better, because I have a lot of things to hold.
Noted. Well, I would need probably 4 hours to complete the spell. Yes, so 4 hours. Either can wait to come claim it in 4 hours now, or come back for it later.
Do you guys care if I let them wait 4 hours?
What time of day is it now?
Morning.
Oh, yeah, as long as we're leaving by, like, at least afternoon, we should be fine.
Hollyhock kind of thinks for a minute and she kind of nods and says, yes, okay, I think we can wait these 4 hours. How much would it cost?
Well, let's take the journal as payment enough for now.
That sounds like a fantastic deal. And she kind of holds out her big old paw to this wizard.
And kind of looks at your hand expectantly and shakes it begrudgingly.
She just leaves the journal, leaves the bag, and without another word, just kind of skips out. See you soon, Galio!
He doesn't reply, but simply begins looking over the book.
I'll then rejoin the friends and let them know that it'll take about 4 hours.
Very well.
I would like to use this time to practice with my sword.
Okay. Very well.
I don't think I have much else to do, so I will just wait patiently reading through some of my documents and scriptures that I have.
Noted.
See if I can find anything out from them, although I doubt it.
Honestly, I'm probably going to have to watch the wizard to make sure they don't hurt themselves.
I ain't taking that responsibility. I'm sure I see and hear Argo practicing with the sword, and does their form at least look okay to me, Junie?
So let's start here. Let's go ahead and have Argo roll athletics for me.
I'm not good at athletics.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand for me.
Should hopefully be better, at least.
Oh boy.
Okay. So as you are practicing, with your sword. You
It's been like 80 years.
you absolutely, probably almost maybe throw it as you're swinging mistakenly, but because your reflexes were really good, you were able to try to grab it with your other hand and make it look like a flourish that you had meant to do. But in actuality, you really kind of just fucked up really badly and caught it. So everyone seems impressed, but only you know the sheer panic that flashed before your face.
I was very hoping it was going to be acrobatics.
Holly is just off to the side watching and clapping.
He didn't lose a finger. I go back to my reading.
That happened since I was like 60.
As he looks up from the letter that he's writing and kind of walks over, and you're using a short sword?
Yeah.
He kind of like stands beside you and takes out his long sword and like shows you how to grip it.
Are
And
you
basically-
sure you don't want to get behind her and show her how to hold the sword? How to grip the hilt?
Actually, as he's in a surprisingly serious mood at the moment. But the thought was there. let me let you guys know. But he does. He tries to give her a few pointers before doing a flourish with his own sword.
Holly pulls out her journal. Dragons that have recently shed are very, very acrobatic. Very flexible. And she draws a little, like, super crude stick-man version of Argo with a sword. Pointy ears and all.
I cast dancing lights to circle around Hollyhock.
I try to eat them.
They go out of her reach.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I was not expecting that. So, okay. Wow. Let's have.
The part where Bear looks up like that's something I would do.
I mean, he would. Let's have you. Let's have you give me a check for acrobatics to see if you can actually catch / try to consume these objects.
Boom. Not
Okay,
bad.
so you definitely pounce. Well, I'll use the word loosely. Pounce upon one to eat it. But you find that as you attempt to do so, for whatever reason, it doesn't really appear to be there.
Make it fade away once you get to it. I give her the satisfaction.
Thanks
Yeah.
for that.
I mean, that's up to you if you want to actually, blink them out as she, quote unquote, eats them or not. But that's up to you.
That's like a
I'm
minute.
honestly not sure if that's better or worse.
Argo, can you make them turn red?
Jesus Christ.
One of them was
Sigmund.
red, the other were blue.
You you should have the red one race across the ground.
It's been sitting on the tree. It was waiting for her.
Oh.
All right, well, after this eventful meal, I guess I'll call it a meal. You assume that, hey, it's probably been long enough. Maybe we can go back and check on how things are going at the tower.
I skip back in. Galio!
He,
I have returned to find my shiny bag.
the wizard looks up from his desk. Ah, yes, the bag. It's right over here. He points to the side on a little table next to the door in his office. you'll find it will hold considerable more than it used to before.
So is it like a bag of holding now?
It's not quite a bag of holding, but it's close. About as close
Okay.
as he can potentially enchant it to be. So the way that effectively works is your standard amount of, let's call it volume for a bag of holding is like, you get like 2/3 of what that would be.
Okay.
But your bedazzled climbing pack is now big pimpin' for carrying things.
Thank you very much, Galio. I appreciate your help. You are most definitely the most powerful wizard I've ever met.
He nods very enthusiastically.
Mhm.
I'll just take my bag and skip out.
Very well. He resumes his work / studying.
/ fucking off.
I mean, is it really fucking off if he's reading? I guess. I don't know.
What else do wizards do? Oh, right. Burn things down, make things explode, cut towers in
Freeze
half,
things.
planar portals, enchant people into giving them large amounts of money.
Hey, it's not always me getting the money when I do that, okay? Sometimes it's you guys.
Once Holly is back, I'll turn to her. You ready?
And I'll jump in the back of the wagon and just start shoving all of my wondrous artifacts into my bag.
All right, Argo, let's go.
I'll actually ride my horse this time instead of riding the wagon. And keep an eye out a little bit.
I'll have my old nag pull the wagon.
That's what Azzy's horse is for. It's a big, strong war horse.
Well,
Eh,
the old nag pulling the wagon, is that you or the horse? Come on, I'm in.
Horse not high enough.
Too
Go fuck
easy.
yourself.
Very well.
Okay.
So you guys have everything together. You are
Mhm.
on your magical way, semi-magical way.
Yep. And we head to the farms first, I think, since they are technically closer.
They
correct?
are indeed. They're along the way. So let me do this. So effectively, with our highly technical color markers here, which let me just clear these for a second. Oh, that's not visible. Hold on. Okay. So, Tower of Storms, right here. That's where the lighthouse is at. That's where the second destination is going to be. The Leyland Point is going to be right here. So you head out from Leyland on your journey and then cut in to get to the farmlands. It's only really like a 15-mile ride, give or take. So it's not like a very long-winded thing at all.
Yeah.
So you get there fairly early into the afternoon.
As we're heading in, I'll try and take note of if we're passing different farms and stuff before we get to the one place that Griselda mentioned for us to find out more. I'll try and take note if there are any obvious signs of wear and tear and things like that.
Very well. So as you're making your way up and off the beaten path towards the point, you start to see that there's kind of almost like a rough cut road that begins to form as you pull off from the main road. You assume that it's probably just been from a lot of wagon travel and horse travel, and it appears to be heading in the direction you need to go, taking you to to the point. And as you round the small bends and little outcroppings of growth and trees that dot the shoreline, you come upon the point of Leyland.
Ooh, tokens.
Tokens on the map, yes. And I realized that some of this stuff didn't get properly layered the way it was supposed to, so oh well.
Okay.
Well, fair enough. I will take care of that right quick.
Don't see anything. La 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 la.
There you go.
Probably chasing butterflies.
There you go.
I would like to note that Argo would like to put. Well, no, I've already seen that, so I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna put on my mage armor, but then we went to the token map already.
So, upon arriving at the point, the farms of Leyland Point are deathly quiet and still. Every window in the community of 13 quaint buildings is shuttered. Many of the village's fields are reduced to blackened ash, and its single street is lined with overturned carts, destroyed sacks of grain, and the rotting, slaughtered carcasses of chickens and pigs. Though this village on a seaside cliff is mostly farmhouses, 4 buildings without attached fields stand out to you. The first, a large cottage, has a sign on the outside of its door that reads, Head House. Second, a cubic wooden building depicting the image of curling waves on the front door. Third is a brick building built high upon a hill, its massive windows shuttered tightly. And finally, you locate a stone shed with a smashed door at the edge of town near a path winding down towards the water.
I guess we'll go. Oh, rather. We should probably head to the head house first, since that's where Griselda directed us, if I recall correctly. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll start making my way there and just taking note. Does
You said there's slaughtered animals laying around?
Yes, there are the dead and slaughtered, semi-rotting carcasses of chickens and pigs and livestock along the streets. Along the street, I guess, singular. And I will just motion for you to tell you the houses as I was describing them. But the first house, the head house, is this one that's right here. The one in the front. This is the one with the wave door on it. And this is the one on the hill made of brick.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the stone one with the smashed door.
Okay. Is there smoke coming from this chimney?
There is.
Okay. I'll head up to the front door and I'll knock on it.
Very well. From behind the door, you hear the anxious and nervous voice of an elderly man telling you to stay away. Go away. It's not safe here. We don't want you.
We were sent by Griselda from Leyland to come and try and help you all with your problem. They're worried about you.
I don't know if I believe you.
I mean, what could I present to you to make us believe you, other than me just being kind and generous and not breaking a door down?
What color is Griselda's hair?
Oh, just open the damn door. We're here to help you.
Keen mind, what's Griselda's hair color?
I was gonna say, oh crap. I think it's like brown, isn't it? Or is it red?
It's copper. It's like a copper color. It's
Okay.
like a bronzy reddish tone.
As he kind of nudges over to Nakaris and whispers, "Copper."
It's copper.
Very well. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, please.
Okay.
Okay. You succeed. Ah, well, I suppose if you have in fact seen her face and her hair, you are potentially trustworthy. All right, very well. He unbolts the door really quick and motions you inside quickly.
I go in.
Yep.
Is he the only one in the house as we enter?
As you enter, he is in fact the only one inside the house. I'm assuming everyone else is going in.
No, as he stays on the outside to watch the roads and the whereabouts.
Okay. Who is going in and who is staying out?
I'll stay
I-
out with Azzy.
I'll stick out with Azzy.
Well, I guess that means I'm going inside because we don't need 4 people outside and 1 person inside.
Okay, very well.
It
So-
was Dracula all along.
So the
Shit.
two of you go inside, and the old man, basically looks around real quick from side to side, and then closes the door and bolts it again.
Oh joy.
So, what exactly can you tell us of what's exactly going on here? Because Griselda was light on details, since you all seem to be rather afraid to step outside.
Well, yes, that's partly my doing. He's like, I am Marciano Belta. I am the headman of this point, this farmstead. And here's the gist here. About maybe 10 days ago or so, we saw some odd-looking shark people, as best I can tell, that came out of the east. Just began rummaging and pillaging, burning the croplands and killing our animals. And then just as quickly as they had come, they were gone. So I sent word, like I had to, down to Leyland to aid us and potentially defend against these raiders. And then not 3 days after, they returned. But this time, they didn't come from the east, they came from the south. Pillaging, burning, and slaughtering our animals. So, a few days after that, when I had seen no aid come, I ordered everyone to lock their doors, stay inside, and wait until somebody came to help. Unfortunately, here you are.
Are there windows in this house, out of curiosity?
There are, but they are all shuttered.
Shuttered as in he's nailed boards to them, or the blinds are like drawn and stuff like that?
Shuttered in such a way that in these, medieval-esque houses, or as you would see it, that basically there were like wooden windows that you basically would close over the window and then latch.
I go to one of them, I unlatch it, and I look outside just to make sure all of the houses still have smoke coming out of them, I take it, from their chimneys.
Yes, some of them do. Not all, but some do.
Okay. And you said these were shark men, correct?
Yes, it was very odd. Some kind of shark people. I don't know how else to describe it properly.
Okay. I'll look at Talia. We should probably ask Azzy about this. He'll have the most information, considering sailor and seafarer, because I don't have anything. Correct, Junie? I have no idea.
Right. Yeah, the best description. Yeah, the best description you get out of Marciano is effectively that they're shark people with green scales, and they have finned heads.
Did
Can I
you-
perhaps use Arcana or maybe Nature to try and make an educated guess based on what he's describing? Maybe narrow it down to a couple of possibilities.
You can use nature probably for that.
Okay. Not my best roll, but
So from the description, you think that it's a possibility that you could be dealing with a couple of different types of sea creatures, all of which are kind of pack-like. Potentially either some Sahagin or something similar to that you may have run into previously in your exploits in this timeline.
These creatures say anything that you could understand while they were pillaging and looking?
No. Nope. We certainly didn't try to converse with them at all or listen to any of their ravings.
Did they take anything particular constantly with both times they showed up?
Not particularly. It really just seemed like they wanted to destroy most of what was there and take very little.
You didn't happen to notice any of them with a symbol or a stave with a crude drawing on it? And I give him a description of the symbol of Talos.
No, none of them had that symbol.
Okay. Just double checking our bases, considering the last time we were here and that particular symbol showed up more than we liked. Is there anyone else in the village who could give us more information in regards to this?
Well, maybe. If I had to guess, either the shrine or maybe the Hewer's hut. If you could talk with Kalana, she might know more. She's lived along the sea her entire life.
A shrine, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Could you point the direction, perhaps?
Sure.
Guessing it's the brick building.
Either that, and then which way to this Kalada, you said?
Yes, Kalada.
Yes. Which home would they be in? Gotcha. Alrighty then. Looks like we have some other villagers to interview.
Thank you, Marciano. Is there anything else we should be aware of from these attacks, such as how many did you count from the last one that came through?
From the last attack, it must have at least been a dozen at the time. I'm not sure. I didn't look through their numbers very closely.
That's fine. A good estimate is just what we need. Thank you. We'll go speak with Kalada and also look at the Hewer's hut and into the shrine and see if we can find out anything else. Thank you. Continue to do what you're doing with keeping your house bolted.
I will do so. Be safe.
I step back outside.
Yep, I'm gonna follow.
And he bolts the door behind you.
Well, friends, what did you learn?
I
Shark
list
people.
off, I list off a couple of different possibilities for what these things could
Shark
be.
people.
Yeah.
I specifically look at Azzy. Any of that ringing any bells after Talia finishes describing?
Bobo, you dead?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you want me to roll for this, or do I know?
You know of a few different things that it could be, so give it a roll and let's see if you can narrow it down based upon the descriptions you've been given.
Nature?
Yes, please.
Nat 20.
So, based upon the description that was given, you emphatically believe that it is probably Sahagin.
Hagen.
Yeah, sounds like Sahagin.
Fun.
Those things stink,
Oh.
man.
Yeah, I'm more curious as to why they're coming up on land, though. They normally don't do that, right?
Well, what's the sky look like, John?
It's a clear day currently.
Clear day, no storms to toss the oceans around. I don't recall a storm really billowing through the past few days. Your guess is as good as mine, really. Could be a pact with something or someone. It's usually what happens. They're just like bandits, but bandits of the ocean.
Gotcha. I did ask if any of them carried a symbol of Talos with them, but the village head, Marciano, says he doesn't recognize any of it, but we still have a few places to go visit, as I point out, the Umberlee Shrine and the Hewer's Hut. We should also try and find a woman by the name of Colada who's lived here quite a while, and Marciano mentioned that she might be able to help us a bit more.
I believe Kalata lives in the Hewer's Hut.
All right. Well, there's 5 of us. 2 of us can definitely take one of those locations. If you would like to split up and then meet, say on top of that hill over by the Hewer's Hut, or maybe back here.
Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna go to the shrine.
Well, then I'm going to the Hewer's Hut.
Yep, I'll go to the Hewer's Hut too.
I will head to the shrine as well with Talia.
Okay, all right.
And Argo is doing what?
I'll head with Azzy and Hollyhock.
Okay, going to the Hewer's Hut. All right. So, 3 of you going to the hut, make your way up the hill to the hut itself. And the 2 of you going to the shrine, make the short distance down the road to the shrine door, where you find it closed and, secured, more or less.
Symbol on the door of the shrine. Do I recognize this?
Give me a religion check. Yeah, you recognize the symbol belonging to Umberlee, the goddess of the sea.
Also known as the Bitch Queen.
Do I recognize it as well, Junie?
Yeah, you can roll your religion as well, but it's probably well known enough that you would recognize it. Unless you roll really low, in which case I'll laugh. Okay, so yes, you still do kind of recognize it. At first,
training covered.
Right, at first the name doesn't quite spring to mind, but you're like, I know this, I've seen it, I know this. And then it's on the tip of your tongue, and then Talia just kind of mentions Umberlee, and you're like, yep, Umberlee.
Basically very fickle, I take it from Harper's description.
Yes. Umberlee may be goddess of the sea and of water. Problem is, she's one of the 4 elemental gods.
So temperament, and yeah.
However, she's also one of the few that is considered to be outright evil most of the time.
Yep.
She's a goddess to be placated,
Yep. Basically,
not prayed to.
we give you offerings so you don't come over here and mow down our village.
Yes. You said the shrine is locked.
I said that it appears to be secured.
Okay, I'm gonna try the door.
And you try the door, and it is unlocked.
Let's go inside.
Okay. Opening the door, you look inside the small one-room little area in the shrine. You find on the floor in front of you as you open the door the corpse of an elf priestess laying in a pool of their own blood next to an altar.
Lovely.
Nokris, you know something about wounds, don't you? Can you check out this corpse?
Yeah, give me a moment. Just watch my back and make sure nothing's gonna spring out in the darkness.
Yes. If it's dark in here, I want to like grab a little bit of flint and steel and light whatever lights are in here. Maybe maybe a couple candles, a torch.
Yep, that's fine. It is dim because all the windows are shuttered and closed up, but it's you have some light coming in from the door that's open now, but more or less it's dim. So you light some of the candles and accoutrement in the shrine, and it's now brighter.
I am going to take out some of my herbalism kit and some of my other tools for medicinal purposes, and basically going to try and determine, obviously, how she died, aside from loss of blood, how long she's been dead, and if there's anything unique about her death aside from the wounds, obviously.
Okay, very well.
And 19.
Okay. So inspecting her corpse, you effectively, first and foremost, you can tell that she was run through, impaled, stabbed, whatever you want to call it, with some kind of rough cut spear, because the wound is not really cleanly cut, let's say. It's kind of like all over the place. So you assume that whatever the tip of such an implement was must have been fairly natural, is probably the easiest way to describe it.
Yep, so it was manufactured to a sense, but it was manufactured in the sense of not being refined.
Correct.
Does it look like the spear entered her stomach or her back?
From looking at the entry and exit, you can determine that it came from the front when it ran her through.
So she saw whoever killed her. And how long has she been dead from the blood, coagulation, and maybe rigor mortis setting in?
From your diagnosis of the corpse, you can tell that she's probably been dead for 3 days, give or take.
Okay. After seeing this and seeing all that, and there's no... I mean, it doesn't look like there's any residue. I kind of stand up and I look around the temple a little bit and see if anything looks like it's out of place or ransacked or what have you.
Looking around inside of the shrine, you do kind of note that things are a little unkempt. So it almost looks like things have been kind of knocked around a little bit from where they normally would be. Doesn't look really like anyone was rummaging through, searching for anything. It just kind of looks like it was some controlled chaos of kind of knocking things around. But among the clutter on the floor, you do locate a potion of water breathing.
Handy for a priest of Umberlee.
Yeah. Does she have a symbol of Umberlee on her, I take it?
She does.
Okay.
Is there an altar in the main room? I want to check over the altar and ensure that perhaps this isn't just some fluke of wrathful vengeance of a god coming down again.
There is an altar made of stone, kind of in along the back wall from the door, but it's probably a good, I'd say like 6 feet from the corpse to the altar.
Okay, so
She's been dead for 3 days and nothing was really taken, as I kind of hold up this potion of water breathing. And she saw whatever was killing her. Unfortunate as it might be for her, but
Hmm.
whatever they came in here for, they were mostly not concerned with taking anything, which is weird.
So they were likely more concerned about the priestess or her activities. And if the
Possibly.
front door was unlocked, I mean, she probably either let the person in, or I want to go check the door frame.
Okay.
Does
Go
it
ahead
look
and-
like it's been busted?
Go ahead and give me a investigation.
Okay. Not happening.
So, kind of looking over the grain of the wood and the frame, you can tell it's a wooden frame, and it looks like it's made of wood.
Ah, yes, I see. The floor is made of floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a possibility they broke in or she let them in. It's still hard to tell from this. All I know is that she was definitely looking at her attacker, which belies at least some form of trust or that they were not quiet about getting in. And the fact that everything's kind of a little bit wrecked, but it's not rummaged through, indicates that they weren't really. They found whatever they were looking for very easily, and then just
Perhaps
left.
they already knew where it was, too.
Perhaps, but unfortunately we don't have anything else. I'll take a look around. Is it only one room? There's no door leading to the back or
Correct.
anything like that?
Yeah, it is basically just one room with a small little side alcove, let's call it, that's kind of made into a makeshift, like, sleeping quarters.
I'll take a look in there.
Okay.
And I'll take a look, see if there's anything like a journal, diary, daily tasks, or anything like that listed out.
All right. Give me a investigation, please.
Yep.
So, looking around in the sleeping quarters alcove area, you don't seem to turn up anything that looks to be any kind of writing material, journal, or any other kind of log. You do find, obviously, some changes of clothes, some other regalia for, a priestess of Umberlee, but otherwise, everything else seems pretty standard, pretty normal, and no real journaling to be found.
Well, there's not much really to be gained here, so we should probably head over to the Hewer's hut and relay the information, although is one of the houses right near the Umberlee Shrine? Does it have smoke coming out of it?
Yes.
Although I would like to stop in there and see if they noticed or heard anything. So I'll kind of grab the potion of water breathing, head out, and then go to the closest home that has smoke coming out of its chimney.
Yep, the one
And-
to your east.
Mhm.
So as you, I'm assuming Talia, you're tagging along, but
Yes, of course.
as you both come up to the house and prepare yourselves to knock on the door, we find the other three up on the hill at the Hewer's hut, investigating what's going on.
All right, while y'all are doing the Hewer's hut, I'm going to grab a second cup of coffee. Bring
Okay.
it back.
Where's the door?
So approaching the hut, you find the door is south-facing. The windows are shuttered, as you are finding from just about every other home and house and structure in this particular area. And the door appears to be intact. It doesn't look like it's been smashed, damaged, or smacked at.
Knock on the door.
You knock on the door, and there is no reply.
How's he break it?
You sure?
Maybe try the doorknob first, but I'm not.
I think the wizard just wants to see your rippling muscles from the sounds of it.
This is your moment to
No.
show your true colors.
If
You
so, I would've
immediately
laughed
went
all
to
over
as he
it.
break the door down. You want to see his muscles.
No, I want the door to break down.
This could
Mhm.
be. This could be what turns the tide.
Enough with the water jokes. We already found a Temple of Umberly.
I can't charm the door open, so someone else has to do the force method.
Doors wood.
Yes, it's made of wood.
Hinges on this side or the other side?
The hinges are on. Hinges would be on the inside.
Okay.
So it would open
And
inward.
okay. And is it a complex lock or is it just a regular old door handle with a basic lock?
From as best as you can tell, it appears to be a pretty standard lock.
What kind of roll do you want for a kick?
Well, if you're gonna kick it, I would give me a strength.
Flat strength.
Yeah, like you could roll athletics. 'cause
Here
it's
we go
basically
again,
the same
kicking in
thing.
the doors of old ladies' homes.
Well, I think a flat strength check is weaker than my athletics check, so
Oh, well, I guess that's true. If you have bonus into athletics. So let me just have you just do a flat strength check, as this is a show of strength, not really a show of athletics. All right, so with an 18, you kind of rear back on one leg and lean forward with a mighty blow with your boot. And you knock the door off its hinges. And it falls inside of the home.
How much he's been trying the doorknob?
knock knock.
Argo's just laughing in the back.
Jesus Christ.
So, as you peer inside of the now opened hut, you can see that it is a one-room home that has a bed and a fireplace along one side, and a table in the middle with cookware and utensils. You find a chair by the table. You find on the table a large handbell, and you also find a spyglass. And on the north wall, you find a bookcase full of various novels that appear from just kind of quick glance to be about various tales of adventure and stories that are make-believe.
Holly immediately starts thumbing through them.
Alrighty.
There's nothing here.
We should have tried to open the door the nice way first. Maybe that
You're,
makes
you're
here.
not wrong.
Well, as he bends over and picks up the door, unlocks it, and then sort of like halfway puts it back on its hinges.
So as you were picking it up to unlock it, you noticed that it was in fact unlocked in the first place.
What the fuck, Argo?
I told you.
I never
I
said it was locked.
told you.
I didn't say it was locked. I just didn't want to have to bother touching it.
Oh my god.
That is the most elf thing I've ever heard.
Jesus Christ.
As he kind of shakes his head, says, "You really did just want to see me flex my ass."
Specifically your ass, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to get a good clench in to work out all that force, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
Could
because
you
you're.
please elaborate?
He wanted to feel that.
Pulls out
proud.
her journal and looks at him expectantly.
I'll draw you a
See.
picture later.
When children are sad, you make them happy by letting them do things they're good at.
Savage. Fuck. And with that, as he just walks out,
Holly kind of looks him up and down. He's a child?
To me, all of your children.
yeah, flaunt that age more, old lady.
I walk over to the bookshelf and see what nice fantasy novels there are.
Holly
bet
takes
you're into
all
that
of the
weird
interesting
shit.
books and shoves them in her bag and leaves 10 gold.
All right, so give me a investigation
Oh, no.
check, please.
Okay. Just a straight investigation check.
Yes, please. So as you are rummaging through all the books on the bookshelf and taking them, you notice that there is a book that was missing, or a gap in the bookshelf, where the books kind of like leaned onto each other, and you saw or see a book that is currently on the floor underneath the bed.
I'm gonna go over and check it out.
Okay. Taking a look at this particular book, you note that it is a adventure novel called Sea Devils.
That's fucking what? You fucking know, like that's what Sahagin are called.
Is there anything like interesting in this book, like that, like any kind of marks or like bookmarks or anything that
Are
would?
there any pictures?
Fuck off! That's not what I'm asking.
So, from your quick perusing of this book, you effectively can determine that it appears to be a book involving some kind of story where creatures of the deep climbed up out of the ocean, looking like these weird shark-like people with green scales and finned heads, and they were attacking and besieging a village.
I kind of yell after Azzy. I found the book on shark people. Do you want me to draw you a picture?
As he pops his head back inside and takes a look at it. This is just a book about fiction. Does it?
Mhm.
Okay.
It is a fictional novel depicting the attack of a village by a group of Sahagin, where after many attempts, they are eventually thwarted by the hero, who shows up to defend the village from their onslaught, driving them back into the ocean.
Well, that's just not accurate at all.
You wouldn't let them get to the ocean. That's where they like.
You don't understand. Sahagin don't just give up. They're bred for war.
They're starting to sound real nice to me. I think.
Argo, have you never seen a Sahagin?
Have I seen Sahagin in Waterdeep?
No, you're an elf. You're an elf who's barely 100. You're barely considered an adult by your people.
You've been sheltered most of your long years.
Yeah. No, I meant when I was
Children.
in Waterdeep. Since it's by the water too, I thought. Wait, no, it's not. Never mind. I'm dumb. I forgot how to read a map.
That's okay. That's okay. I was gonna say you don't necessarily find some evil sea creatures chilling around a city in so.
I was gonna say you are from the
That's
city,
not-
right? I'm not imagining that.
I was in the city for a while, and then I went exploring.
Right, but you weren't like. I'm not misremembering that you were like born and raised on the coast, right?
I was born and raised in Silvery Moon.
Okay, so
That is
Forest
very
Village.
far
got it.
from the coast.
Argo,
Yes.
what are you?
I'm an elf.
I mean, what's your class?
I'm a wizard.
Do you have any knowledge of religion?
I read books, yes.
Ugh.
I read books.
Yeah, I have a +8 in religion. But I'm not sure how to contextualize that.
As he looks around the room and he's really just looking for anything else that might be related to fish people, Sahagin, or the shark god.
Yeah, does anything seem off at all?
In the hut, no. There doesn't appear to be anything that's really out of place. This among all the other areas in terms of what you've seen in the farmlands and things like that, this particular hut doesn't really have any associated livestock or farms or anything, so it really doesn't look like it's been touched in terms of what they've ransacked.
Holly, can you read?
Of course I can read.
Cool. I want you to read this book, and anytime you see the hero's name, I want you to think of your name. I
Holly
give
throws the book
back
at his
to her.
head.
Make an attack roll.
Why would you put Holly through such a terrible, terrible fate to watch that anime movie over and over again? The feels. All right. So yeah. So
Sorry,
you throw the book at him. You throw the book at him. Azzy, go ahead and give me an acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
Mm-hmm. So the book bounces off your helmet.
I laugh. Well, that's about as much fun as we're probably gonna have today if Sahagin are about. So let's go meet up with the others.
I grabbed the book and put it in my bag.
Very well.
Unless Holly wants it, she's my friend.
No, the book is tainted now. I do not want it.
Very well.
That's just helmet. Jeez, you don't have to be so rude.
So as you make your way back down the hill,
God, you play an elf so well.
our other two find their way to this house next door to the shrine, and I assume you're going to try to knock to gain entry.
Yes.
Okay. So you knock on the door, and there is no reply.
You guys want me to kick that one down too?
No, you're not here yet. I knock again, but harder.
And you give it time, and there is still no reply.
I try the door.
The door is unlocked.
Damn.
I give Talia a look. Be ready. Yeah, I know. I don't like it either, trust me. I bring out my greatsword and I slowly open the door.
Okay.
And wait either for an empty house, a scared person, or a dead body.
Very well.
Yeah, I've got my flail and shield ready to go too.
As you open the door,
Mm-hmm.
the light of the day spills into the mostly dark home, where the only light is the dim glow of embers from the fireplace. You see a few figures laying on the ground,
Great.
and something approaches you from the right-hand side, coming towards you at the door.
Mm-hmm.
And in the commotion, you realize it's a chicken trying to scurry its way back outside. And you may or may not be a little startled by this.
Fucking chicken. God damn it.
Pack it just in case.
I give it a swift kick and curse at it as it goes out the door.
Chicken
Only
kicker!
has- It only has 1 HP. It just exploded.
No, it's non-lethal damage.
After I see the fowl run out, I go over to the bodies and check for life signs. In what I'm guessing, these definitely be dead.
They are, in fact, the bodies of dead villagers. And they are, in fact, quite dead.
The stench probably would have hit you first and told you that.
Possibly. Depends on how old they are.
Well,
They've been in there now for probably about 4 days. So it's getting a little pungent.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunate. Same kind of wounds as the priest that we found.
Same kind of wounds, but none that are really the same impact. Like they don't appear to have driven through the body, but they do appear to be some various cuts that are kind of rough cut slashes and gouges.
Okay. Does this? I'll I'll light up a torch or a candle, or I'll use the embers to light a candle that's still in the house, or a lamp if they have one, and just take a look around. Does it look like anything was taken, or does it just look like things were disturbed and broken in the scuffle that probably happened as these people tried to defend themselves?
Yep. So, using the light that you've discovered from inside the house, you look around and can tell that it doesn't really appear like anything is out of place or lost or taken, but it is all disheveled and knocked around as if there was commotion and or somebody potentially, throwing things.
Okay. I get up. I look at Talia. We're going to check every other house now.
Yep.
And we just make a systematic approach of checking every single house while they are either coming back down from the hill or still investigating. But me and Talia, I'm guessing, are of the same mind, and we systematically go to every single house and check to see if there's anyone left alive besides Marciano.
Very well. So as you are approaching the house directly to the south, the other group of three come down the hill and arrive to join you in the street as you are effectively knocking to check for signs of life.
Any good news?
Noticed, huh?
While you guys are knocking, I just walk up and ask any good news.
No.
No.
You
The
three
place
go
has been
check the other
murdered.
houses that are down the lane past the shrine. Check all of them.
Understood.
I'll go with Argo to whatever houses she goes to.
Yeah, I have a very dead, said look and a very grim determination about me.
I'm fairly certain Sahagin did this, but I don't think we have anything to worry about quite yet. If these people are dead, and the last raid was 4 days ago, Sahagin can't stay out of water that long. So they might still be in the area, but I'm willing to bet they're in the water. However, let's do as you say.
You, checking the other houses. You, Azzy.
Do what?
Before you go, and as you're saying that, I kind of grab Azzy by the shoulder, and I just tell him, you go and speak with Marciano again, and speak to him in the charm only you have.
Look, man, that could mean like 6 different things. You want me to get drunk with him, fuck him, kill him, beat him? What?
Kicking his door, that's impressive.
You are
I
nauseating.
want you to make sure that he has told us everything that he has about this place, because I have not only found a dead priest of Umberlee that looks like she let her attacker in, possibly, or she knew who it was, but I have just seen a dead family, and I am more than willing to bet that every single house the other three come across is going to have at least 1 or 2 bodies in it. And if Marciano is the only one left alive, something is not sitting right.
All right.
Yep.
You want to
Izzy.
check her?
Thank you.
Holly takes her axe to the door.
Holly and I are gonna get along great.
So go ahead and give me a roll, please, for the attack to the door. Okay, you definitely hit it because it's kind of hard to miss a door. 12 damage is enough to effectively splinter a nice hole straight through the middle of it. So you can now kind of poke your face in and do like a "Here's Johnny" kind of shining moment.
Here's Holly.
There you go. And there's nobody inside.
Nope, nothing here.
I do a quick flash of dancing lights inside through the hole, just to check if there's any bodies or if it's just an empty building.
It is, in fact, an empty building. It looks like it was a home, but there is nobody present, and things inside appear to be undisturbed.
Oh joy.
I moved to the next house.
I follow along, just keeping my eyes about. She seems pretty focused on breaking all the doors now.
It's not like the people inside are using them anymore.
That door.
Wait a second. Where's Azzy?
He was going back to talk to what's his face, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the headsman.
So, as you attack the door, your axe gets a little stuck in this one. Obviously, it's got to be stronger wood, right? Because clearly you couldn't have hit it any weaker than you had before. It's just not in your blood.
Teach that door a lesson for trying to stop you.
I hit it again.
Go ahead.
Come on, roll 20. Let's go.
As I say, go ahead and smack it again for me, but it's probably thinking about it.
It's like it didn't go. I don't know. There we go.
Okay. So the second hit, you effectively splinter a hole yet again, where you kind of cleave some of the door open. And appearing inside, you find some more dead animals, but no actual villagers.
Nope, just dead animals in this one. Why are the animals inside then dead? It's very strange.
Trying not to think about the reason.
All right, so Talia, you're checking your house now. I'm just trying to spread the action around here as we're going through house to house. So, Talia, you, I'm assuming you're going to knock on the door of this home.
Is Harper actually back from getting coffee?
Or maybe Harper's not back
Yes,
from coffee.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's
Muted.
It's okay.
Yeah, it tends to unmute itself and like do weird shit when I start walking out of range. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I suppose I will knock first.
Okay. Knocking on the door, you hear a little bit of rummaging inside, and someone comes to peer out through the door, opening it a crack. You see a small girl looking back at you.
All right, kid. I'm an adventurer. I was hired by someone to come check up on the village. How long have you been in this house? When's the last time you came outside?
We've been in here 5 days now.
So you know about the raids from the creatures?
Oh, yeah, it was very scary. We couldn't play in the fields anymore. We had to stay inside.
Are your parents home?
Oh, no. No, they're not home.
When's the last time you saw your parents?
Probably 6 days ago now. They were going down the street to help secure one of the other homes.
Oh boy.
Alright, well... Tell you what, kid. Stay inside. Make sure you lock the doors. Do you have plenty of food and water inside?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we're stocked.
Okay. Yeah, just stay inside and keep the doors locked. We think the monsters may come back.
She nods.
So, alright. We'll come let you know when it's safe to come out again.
Okay. So she closes the door and then locks it.
I immediately head over towards Marsilio's house.
Okay. Nokris, you are checking out house number 2 for you across the street.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's
Correct.
another knocking situation.
Correct.
Okay. You knock, and you hear somebody come to the door. And they unbolt it and kind of peer out. And you see a middle-aged man. Looks to be a farmer.
Mm-hmm. Are you the only one in there?
Oh no, there's at least 3 of us in here now. My wife and our neighbor.
Neighbor from directly across the street from you, or?
Oh no, she lives 2 houses down.
Okay.
She didn't want to stay in by herself, so she decided to stay up with us.
Understandably so. It probably saved her life, in all honesty. Have you heard the raids, I take it?
Yes, we have.
Okay. Have you heard anything else while they've been going on, or noticed anything when they've been going on?
Not in some time. It's been a few days since we've had another attack, but I wouldn't put it past them to return.
I would not either. Do you guys have plenty of food and water?
We do.
Okay. Well, stay locked inside, barricade your windows and things as best as you can. Be sure to have an escape plan ready if things go south. And we're going to try and figure out what's going on. Griselda sent us here from Leyland to check in on everyone. And we're checking in on that. The people that I see inside, do they all look to be adults?
Yeah.
In nature?
Yeah.
I am going to inform you that your neighbors across the way are departed, and they've been dead for a couple of days now, so be ready for that, possibly with other houses. I have my comrades checking them, but I don't know what the likelihood of everything is. Is this house, I guess as I'm looking at, does this house look like it's the most defensible out of all of them that I see?
No.
Okay. Which one's that? Marciano's, I take it?
Probably Marciano's, or like the one that's closest to the end of the road by the cliff is probably the one that is also the best defended in terms of the layout of the floor plan of the home and everything.
Okay. Stay in here for now. I'm going to go check in with my other comrades, and maybe we'll ask you all to move to a different house to be more easily defended in case they come again, but for now, stay inside and lock your doors.
Very well. Thank you for coming to our aid.
Yep. And I close the door and I kind of give a curt nod, and I look down the road. Do I see kind of the others coming up as well now?
You see Talia basically making her way back towards beyond you, towards Marciano's house, where Azzy is headed as well. And you see the other 2 down the far end of the road, basically checking the last of the houses at the end.
I'll start heading towards Marciano and meet up with Talia, and then we'll eventually meet up with Azzy.
Okay. So as you and Talia are making your way up the street to meet up with Azzy, do you go speak with Marciano? Holly and Argo are investigating the last house on the street.
This little shack down here.
Mm-hmm.
Can I, if I was to stand like here where the door is, can I see it in its like fucked up state or whatever?
Yeah, basically it's like, kind of look at it, think of it like you're kind of looking down a slight sloping hill towards the cliff edge, and you can basically see the front door is just smashed in.
Seeing that, Holly's gonna just take the head of her axe and kind of knock on this door.
Okay.
Kind of suspicious because of its proximity to the other houses.
So as you knock on this door, you hear the motion of someone coming and opening the door, unbolting it, and kind of peering out. You see a kind of a middle-aged woman answer the door. Is it over?
Well, no, not quite. Are you safe? Are you okay in there?
We're safe, but I've been wanting to try to leave to go back to my kids, but it's been dangerous outside. I've been too scared to leave.
Where are your children?
Just at that house over here. And she points around the corner kind of towards the one where Talia had been standing prior.
Would I have heard that conversation or know of the children being in there with Talia? Or-
No, it's basically would have been the equivalent of probably like a distance of 40 feet from you. So you wouldn't have picked up on the conversation going on while you were here hollying the other houses.
Argo, can you run up that hill and go check and possibly find this woman's children?
This one, right?
She just yeets across the map.
I am
Motherfucker.
small.
The answer is yes, that one. Elves are natural sprinters.
I knock on the door.
It's a little girl opens it again. Is it time already?
Not quite yet, but your mother is.
Argo had realized suddenly the world of issues they have run into.
Wanting to make sure that you were holding up in the sound. Your mother is going to be coming back.
Oh, okay. My mom. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We missed her.
I yelled to Holly before they opened this door. I'm just going to yell that the child is here.
Does this house that I'm at seem more secure than that house?
Not really.
They're both kind of the same.
Yeah, they're both more or less the same. Most of these houses are kind of like shoddy construction. They're decent enough, but they're not the best.
Holly's gonna kind of eye that weird hut at the end of the road hill down there, and she's gonna turn back to the woman. I will take you to your children, and you can hold back up in that house. It's a little bit closer, a little bit higher, so you won't be so close to the water if the creatures come back.
Okay, very well.
And I just want to take whoever's in there and lead them up to the kids.
Mm-hmm. So there's basically a woman and then another couple that are middle to later aged, kind of almost old, but not quite. So they grab some things and make their way with you to the House of Children.
While we were waiting, I was making pretty light with prestidigitation for the children.
That's excellent, excellent.
We don't know what dangers are still here, so you should all just go in this house and lock the doors, bolt up the windows, even as more as you can, and we'll come back when it's safe.
Very well, thank you.
One last thing. Tell me, what do you know of this man at the head house?
Marciano is a very, very good gentleman. He's looked after us quite well. He always makes sure that we're taken care of and that we have no issues. Things have been adjusted well enough, and he does his best. He does his best. We can't really say anything ill about him.
Very well. Be safe, and we shall return.
Okay, you as well.
And with that, I'm gonna start heading up towards where Nokris is.
Okay. So you can start making your way up the street.
Yeah, making
And-
sure that they lock the doors and stuff behind them.
Yep. Okay. So the three of you that make your way to Azzy at Marciano's place. I assume you're going to knock upon the chamber door.
Well, I don't know if Azzy got there first, because I told
Yeah.
him to make with the charm that only he has.
Yeah, he would have arrived first. So Azzy, if you wanted to go in ahead of everyone else, you would
Yeah.
have effectively arrived to do so.
Knock, knock, motherfucker.
So Marciano opens the door. Yes.
Sahagin.
Sahagin.
And Umberly? Is that a shrine to Umberly?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
As he steps through the threshold, kind of imposing himself on Marciano.
And he kind of staggers back a little bit, but he yields the threshold to you.
Why are you okay?
I've been locked in my house. I have to assume, sticking to my own guidelines, we've been able to stay safe.
It's been a minimum of 4 days since the last attack. Why are you people still here? Are you just waiting for death?
These are our homes, and we are waiting for aid to come to us. You could be attacked as we try to leave. Pack our things and try
You
to...
could make it to Leyland in a day.
And what would we do with our livelihoods?
You'd fucking find help there for sure. Other than just waiting for death here.
It's difficult for the families to pack their things and leave.
But so it's easier to die. That's literally what you just told me.
I can only do so much to coax them into leaving, but if they won't do it on their own, I can't force them.
Is there somewhere safer that you can be?
Well, I mean, not really. There's some caves that are to the south, but there's just
Caves?
tidal caves. Yes. Yes, there's some salt caves where the tide rolls in. And then as it washes out, the water inside will dry up over time, and it's been a decent source of salt.
Do you guys fish? This is a fishing village.
We fish, as well as farm and raise livestock.
Have you ever had any trouble with Sahagin before?
Not prior, no.
How often do you pray to Umberly?
Well, personally, maybe once every other week, but there's usually someone in there almost every day. This particular village.
As his eye twitches, and he offers a mental prayer to Valkyr. And he kind of folds his arms and puffs out his chest a little bit more. Who lived in that hut up there?
The hut on the rise, that was Kalana. She was the
Kalana.
hewer. Mm-hmm, Kalana.
I'm sorry, John. What the fuck is a hewer?
Hewer is an individual who would watch from a high vantage for ships as they were approaching for like shoals and other things that they could potentially run into, and would raise alarm to try to alert them of their oncoming danger
So
by
literally
ringing,
a lighthouse.
by
that is not
ringing
high.
large bells.
So does that hewer's hut have bells then?
It did in fact have a large
It
hand
had
bell
a
that you
Okay.
discovered inside on a table.
Okay. Well, nobody was in that hut.
Hmm. Well, then, I'm not sure where Kalana might be, but I can't hope for much.
What did you know about Kalana?
She had been in the area for a very long time, grew up in this region, Live by the Sea. She really liked to read those novels.
Yes, it's passing odd that she had a novel about Sahagin and a village such as this one being attacked by Sahagin and being saved by a hero. That just happened to be not on her bookshelf, but under her bed. And she's nowhere to be found. No blood in her hut, in her home.
Well, I can't be sure that she hasn't run into some trouble, but I wouldn't put it in line with her to be one to be causing all this.
You said there are caves to the south?
Indeed, yes. Down on the beach, there should be an entrance where the tides roll in and will flood the caves.
Did you not get attacked from the south?
Well, we had prior, yes, but we assumed, with these creatures being sea creatures, they would come from the ocean.
And follow the tide. What's to the east? You said you got attacked to the east.
Well, to the east is effectively the road leads out back to the high trail. Yes.
What is this giant hill mountain thing?
Well, I would have to assume that's the overcovering for what the caves inside. All the various natural caves, yes.
How long have you lived here?
Maybe about 10 years or so.
Will this town recover?
If I had to wager that we will recover, yes.
Even without all the livestock?
It will be a tough season, but we'll make do.
As he turns around and takes a step back outside the threshold and looks for his comrades while kind of leaving his foot in the door to make sure this asshole doesn't shut and lock him out again.
Very well. You do see everyone, more or less everyone, making their way towards you, coming down the road.
Our gentleman here, I already forgot your name.
Marciano.
Says that there are caves to the south, salt caves. And if there are caves to the south, and he looks to his left as he's facing south, at this giant hill that I'm sure is there, they probably lead through a system, I would assume. So, it looks like we have a little bit of exploring to do, if you are all up for that task.
Always.
We do have one thing before there. It seems I was able to find some people still alive. Argo, Holly,
as
and
well.
Talia, hopefully you guys were as fruitful.
Yes.
Bugger along with a couple.
So, it seems we should probably get them into a better situation than what they're in. And I look at Marciano, and I ask him, how many people can your house hold?
Oh, I could easily secure 8 to 9 people, no problem.
Good, done, prepare, you're gonna have guests. And I head back to the houses and I ask Talia, Holly, and Argo which houses had people in them, and then I go to each individual house, round up the people, and then bring them all back to Marciano's to stay there.
Very well. So the people that had been here have met up with the kids in this home. So now there's this home going over here, and the people that were here are now going over here, and thus everyone is now in one home.
Good. And then I look at everyone else. Before we go exploring this cave system, we should probably make sure that they are as barricaded and as defended as they can be, since we might not be back for, depending on how deep these tunnels go, which I look to Marciano. Are they quite elaborate, or?
He doesn't know.
Great. In that case, then, we want to try and make them as fortified as possible for these people, because we don't know how long we're going to be gone. And as he said, it's been a few days, so the Sahagin have had to return to the sea, because they can't live on land forever, but
About
will
the
be back.
Sahagin,
Huh?
I'm going to turn to Azzy for this one because he seems to know a fair bit about these things. Do the Sahagin take captives or do they typically kill?
Sahagin values strength over all else. Think of big brutes. They even they pit their young against each other to weed out the weak in them. They don't normally take prisoners, no.
Okay.
You said you found bodies? You found bodies for a reason. They're not here to raid, pillage, or anything like that. Everything they need, they get from the sea. They're just here to kill.
Makes sense now.
Although, if I'm right, that looks like Umberly's symbol on that shrine door. You all went there, didn't you?
You would be correct.
Priest
That is
was
a shrine
murdered.
to Umberly.
It's passing odd. Sahagin, they don't normally worship her, but they have been known to.
And then
We
again,
did
there was
find
also the woman
the-
at the lighthouse.
Huh?
Said the woman in the Hewers hut who would normally reside in the Hewers hut was absent. So perhaps they knew of the function of the hut and decided to get rid of her.
Well, she was nowhere to be found for sure, but I don't know. I didn't go through these houses. Maybe her body's in there, but I wouldn't know what I'm looking for.
I am not sure either. All I know is that the priestess at the Umberly Shrine definitely was facing her attacker, and she was very much run through.
Oh, Sahagin don't take prisoners. They're not a stealthy lot, unless you count jumping out of the ocean and onto a ship. But
Yeah.
if they came onto land, they did it to kill. It's extremely odd because yes, they can breathe on land, but it's never for any length of time. Half a day max.
If we're
Holly,
lucky, there will be clues in the caves at least.
maybe. Holly and Argo and Azzy, did you guys find anything of interest in that Hewer's hut? Because we weren't able to find Colada, because I looked at all the people we brought. None of your names are Colada, are they?
No, none of the individuals that you have in the house are Kalana.
Just a lot
found
of books. And the only one that was interesting was a book on an adventure with Sahagin.
a book about Sahagin attacking a village, and then an adventure coming.
And the hero's name was Holly.
It was not Holly.
I think it was Dave, and he was the goat person.
Greatest of all time person? Hell yeah.
And what did Marciano tell you about Colada?
Nothing that we didn't already know. She was the hewer. Lived here for probably 10 years. Nothing more than that.
Tell me, Marciano, did Colada keep to herself a lot?
Well, yeah, somewhat. I mean, she would make her way around any of our festivals and gatherings. She would always be present as well, but for the most part, she stayed to herself. Only really interacted with people when she needed to trade or barter for goods or anything of that nature.
She sounds like a hoe.
Well, I can tell you she wasn't married.
That's more your area of expertise, isn't it, Azzy?
Did upon hearing this, did she ever say anything about maybe regretting living here or something in passing?
No, I never heard her speak of it.
How old was she?
Oh, she was probably late 20s, 30s.
Enamored with tales of fiction and heroes. I bet you she tried to go be the hero in this tale.
Possibly. Did she have any formal training of any kind?
I don't believe so. She lived along the coast her whole life. I don't believe she had any formal training in much of anything.
John, they're coming for you.
Nah, they're actually going to the old folks living home that's down the road.
They're coming for you.
It's the po-po.
Nah, it's actually a fire truck and ambulance.
Oh,
So
but
Oh my god.
even worse. Well, if that's the case, then we'll see, because we still haven't found Kalata, but it does raise suspicions as to where is she and why this is the one book of interest that was found. It's all very odd. I don't
Oh.
like what it's possibly pointing to.
Regardless of this woman's intentions or her adventures or whatever her dreams are, our next step should probably be to check out these caves.
Agreed. But first, let's make sure this place is as secure as it can be. And what time of day is it now, Junie, after all of this gallivanting around?
it's getting to be, kind of late afternoon, beginning to be like the beginnings of the dusk in the evening.
I suggest we make this place as fortified as we can, camp out for the night in front of it to be their first line of defense, and then in the morning head for the caves. Does that sound agreeable?
Holly nods.
Argo,
I agree.
Azzy, Talia.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a hike around this hill here and see what I can't find. I won't be
Sure.
gone too long.
Talia, why don't you go with him just to be safe?
Yep.
I don't want us necessarily going off one by one. I trust you to be able to handle yourself in a fight, Azzy, but let's be honest here. We don't know how many there are.
Can your nag keep up?
She's probably older than you.
Probably. As he folds his arms. He walks over to his horse, mounts, and reaches into his saddlebag and pulls out a clipboard type thing and some sheaves of paper. I just need to make a quick map. I'd much rather have an idea of what we're going into and possible routes of escape should things turn south than nothing.
Smart move. Maps are also worth plenty of money in the case that these caves need to be used again in the future.
Well,
But
that's
first
good.
and foremost,
I turn to Argo. Argo, see what you can do with your spell book and see if you have anything that can help at least sound an alarm for these people while we're gone to give them a head start on things should they need to run. Holly, with me, we're gonna go be collecting unneeded wood and fence posting and things of that nature, and we're going to fortify this place as best we can.
Ooh, just the two of us?
This bitch.
Fun, Holly.
Holly sticks her tongue out at Azzy and skips off.
I roll my eyes a little bit, Argo. Just make sure that you have some wards and enchantments ready for this place.
I have none.
did
I look
hear
at the
that there's a
wizard, I'm just
wizard who's
like-
not prepared?
Best open the book and find something to be helpful, please. Or else these people could be dead.
In the morning, I could manipulate the stone to block off the doorway, but that wouldn't help them. I could Mm.
I'll think on it and let me know what you come up with. I go and I begin collecting wood and to help fortify this and make makeshift spears and things of that nature.
All right, very well. So your search for materials with Holly, you find plenty of carts and ruined storage crates, barrels, etc., lining the roads to reclaim and help build some fortifications around the house. Yep, Azzy and Talia making your kind of survey of the area. If you can give me an investigation check, whichever one of you is going to be doing the looking.
I got it.
That was going to be my suggestion. Yes, you got it. Even though it's intelligence based, I am not proficient.
All right, so you kind of survey the area, you get a decent lay of the land, and you map it out so that you can kind of discern the topography and everything. And give me a perception check as well, please.
God damn.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you definitely can tell, where all the hills and valleys belong on your map, and it's a wonderful green landscape of bumps, and that's about what you got.
So, just so that I'm clear, because I know that some of this was supposed to be shaded out for immersion reasons, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The primary purpose was actually to find these cave entrances here and here.
Right,
which
you did not find. Those.
Okay.
The entrance/exits to the north and west are hidden and concealed, and you did not discover them.
Easy day.
Well done.
All right, so everyone effectively makes their way back to find Argo, who has been thinking deeply over the spellbook.
I don't know what to give them. They're a wizard.
Yeah, no, I'm not the kind of wizard that does defenses.
Once Azzy's back, how much light do we have left?
Not much. It's pretty close to dusk at this point, where you'll start losing the daylight completely.
I stick my dagger in the dirt and cast light on it so we have some more light.
Azzy, he'll hop off his horse, kind of in stride, and he's gonna go grab some of the splintered wood from the rest of the town and sort of try to make makeshift barricades out of it to reinforce the door.
It's just about the door. I can seal off the door with stone, but I'll need to rest before I can. And that's
we don't.
Something I can fix afterwards. Because that's a real reinforcement I can do. Because I don't think I can make a tunnel for them. That's a bit beyond the actual limits of the spell.
Well, then as he starts boarding up the windows.
All right, very well.
Basically, Holly and I are making barricades, makeshift pikes and things like that. Basically making traversal to the house very hard to do. Laying potential pitfalls and stuff like that if we have time, but mostly it's barricading things and stuff of that nature.
Yep, very well. So yes, you're able to get some barricades and some kind of like pike defenses in place around the perimeter of the house.
Make sure they're stocked on food and whatnot for at least another couple of days.
Yeah, kind of pooling what they had when they moved over from the other homes. They have enough food to survive for easily a week for the number of them that are there.
Great.
They had a pretty decent haul in storage, so.
As you'll pull the cart around to the back side of the house, or sort of in between these two houses, probably be better. And how much space is in between these two houses?
It's about 12 feet, give or take.
He'll use the canvas, the 20 feet of canvas that he bought, to kind of drape it over from edge to edge of the houses, and create a little hut for everybody who's outside of the house
Speaking of
for
that,
sleeping purposes.
I was gonna cast Theme on Tiny Hut in front of the area here, where that way to block off some of, because once it's up, it doesn't let things pass through it, except those that were inside already. So I was thinking blocking off this radius, because it's a 10-foot radius for the area.
So, question: does it mean pass through it as in no one can go through the building, or is it more no one can go in or out of the building minus the people that are allowed to?
It doesn't. It bars all creatures and objects from passing through.
Right, which
Spells
I think
and magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it, and weather does not go into it.
Yeah, it specifically phrases it right there as from passing through it.
Basically makes it like an impenetrable bubble. So if you're inside of it, you're good. But if you're outside of it, you're not coming in.
right, and that's more what I'm getting at is
And
not.
trying to maneuver it a bit to try and block off part of the door, at least make it a bit harder, at least for the sun comes in the night. Because it'll at least keep them safe for the 8 hours that we're resting.
It's fine with me.
Because as long as you guys are around me when I do it, you guys are able to pass through. Yeah, it can move freely. I just can't leave it once it's up until, because it'll break down once I do. I think. Yeah. Once the preparations are ready, I could throw that up and make it a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, even then, you should probably at least wait until we're getting closer to the time of when we think another attack might be coming to actually cast it.
Oh no, this is what for the rest, because once I cast this, I can't leave that dome. And spells can't go through it. I will be in it, because I can't send spells through the dome either.
Gotcha. So we just want to be able to securely rest inside the dome for now.
Yeah.
Oh, that
And
makes sense.
I had the benefit of helping block off the door a bit.
Yeah, trust a warrior priest to think of something like Leomund's tiny hut being used as a defensive measure first.
Alright, well, you more or less have your defenses in place as best as you're able to manage in the remaining daylight that is now gone. So, I assume you're going to try to make camp then?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Which I believe Argo is ready to crack their new spell.
Yep, I'll get my book out and start the ritual cast.
Very well. Where would you like to place said radius?
Right here at the center point.
Okay. I had to get the right hotkey.
Wanted to double check to make sure it was actually the 10 feet, but yeah.
So that's basically the shape, more or less. It's probably a little. Yeah, that's actually
Yeah,
accurate.
that
10
looks
foot
like-
radius. Yep.
Yep.
So yes, that's the shape. So do you want it centered like that? Do you want it off centered to cover you guys? Like, what are we talking about?
Oh, I meant with that.
Like right here.
That yeah, right there being the center for it. And then if we're all in there. Please, Nogris.
Bring the house down, partway on Nogris, partway on not. What have you done to me?
Well, you can move through it because technically you were inside.
Why have you made me half and half? Why?
Weren't you already half and half?
It was his attempt.
No.
It was his attempt to have you shed your scale so you're more like like Argo, and that Holly would be interested.
Ah,
in you.
so that's it. Argo just wants to see everyone oiled and muscly. Got it.
You mean we weren't playing JoJo?
All right. Well, everyone will camp down here, I guess, for the evening. Because you're inside of a bubble that was ritual cast and will last 8 hours until the morning. You basically don't have to worry about watch because they can't really see through. They can't really see through the bubble at you. You could see out at them, but as far as they're concerned, there's just a weird dome that is colored in some weird color of your choosing that now lives outside the front door of Marciano's place.
It looks like a ball sack.
Well, I mean, I disagree, but that's okay.
In any case, let's set up our tents and stuff, because it's still a dome and it's still the ground.
Yep.
But at least it's nice and dry.
Yes, at least it is that, so thank you.
All right, so everyone will effectively then get their rest for the night. If you want to prepare any different spells or anything, Argo, you may go ahead and begin that preparation. Because we're resting for an 8-hour period, unless someone has different plans, everyone will get the benefit of a long rest.
Before
Yeah.
Holly goes to sleep, she's going to kind of go off on her own a little bit, still within the dome. And she's going to rip a few pages out of her book, and she's going to sit with her back turned to the group, and she's going to burn them, and take a few seeds out of her pouch, off of her belt, and she's going to plant them and use Druidcraft to make them grow. And it's just some little snowbells, just kind of, hanging out. And then she'll turn in for the night.
Okie dokie.
Before I go to sleep, I say a few prayers for those that are dead, and I'll make a note to bury them properly when we get back, but for now, we don't have the time, and it's more important to keep the living still living.
Yep, noted. Very well. Anyone else with any nighttime tasks before bed?
Aside from wanting to stay up and keep watch for this crazy shark people bullshit, no, not really.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, everyone will turn in for the evening after doing their various things. And you will have a good snooze for a long rest. And we will hold it there until next week to continue with our ball sack on the farmland.
You never fail to deliver. I love you so much. Oh, that's horrible.
Argo is not
What?
a nice person.
I'm starting to think there's something seriously. How to put this? Argo hasn't gotten out much, and the stories that Argo has read really isn't helping situations sometimes about the outside world.
Your experiences do not lend to people being good people.
Uh,
My first experience out of Silvery Moon was just wandering water deep for 10 years. There was a desperate period that needed to happen that didn't.
Okay, well, that was spirited is the word I'll use, I guess. So yeah, so we're here. We're at the farm. We are preparing to see what's about to go down, and yeah, yep, that is that.
sounds good.
Big boobies.
The fuck?
That's my phrase. That's the opposite of big poopy.
Oh.
Big poopy, big boobies.
Nope, I'm done.
Okay,
Well
Alright.
then.
fair enough. So yeah, thank you everyone for yet again, and stay tuned for next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.